Okay, well, good afternoon, world. Maria Abanga here. Maria Abanga, the parent, right? Maria Abanga, a parent. Um, Also a psychotherapist. I think it was last week. I watched a vlog where Kirk Franklin's son had released an audio of a 40-second segment of confrontation with his father, and I was taken aback, and I didn't say anything about it immediately. I wanted to find out more, and I was like, hey, Kirk Franklin, I know Kirk Franklin, I've listened to his songs and stuff. We know a lot of things about some of those American celebrities, and I personally learn much more from them because there's also a lot of truth or stuff they put out there which we don't put out. And frankly speaking, in life you learn a lot also from other people's experiences. And as far as keeping it real is concerned, healing from trauma, all of that is concerned, if people don't share their own journeys in the form of books, memoirs, or vlogs, or all of that, then we don't really have much to learn from, because only my story, well, it's just my story, and if I don't put it out, then nobody will know about it. And if I internalize my story forever, then I don't know how to heal from that story, because that's all I got, and it might now become like reality, and it's just going to make me sink more and more, right? So it's very important. And although we are not yet there, hopefully, but in the meantime, this is where I am, and I embrace my purpose, and I've put my stories out there since 2013. So I have no problem talking and using my own story and learning more and more from other people's stories. And so I was interested in this story because I'm also a parent, right? And I have sons, and I'm also a psychotherapist. So I want to always learn about those kind of things. Psychology is not only what you learn from school and all those theories, and Sigmund Freud and all of those people, and many of them are dead and gone. Learning all of that theory is not really going to help me as much as, practice is going to help me. And that's why, although I'm in school now, I still work with people, because, there's never going to be a time when we stop learning in life. And especially with parenting, there's no manual for parenting to begin with. That's why it doesn't work when we today, parents today, we think that because we were raised that way, we want to raise our children this way. And it's the same way we clash with our own parents, because we cannot allow them to raise us up the way their own parents raised them up. So there's always going to be that constant learning how to parent, right? And when you even have more than one child, you cannot want to parent child 1 the same like child 2, like child 3. They're all different people. They have their personalities, they have their temperament. You yourself, you change seasons of your life. So I'm not the mother at 42 that I was at 30, at even 40, and all of those things. And the children also grow, and they are more exposed to other things, and they have their own stories and journeys and all of that. So it's not easy. So when I listened to this audio, and Kirk Franklin was using some kind of words on his son, let me use the word derogatory words on his son, since the whole audio wasn't played, so I don't know whether the son had also cursed on his father before that part. I don't know what the son's real intention was. But I listened to another vlog where he said, his intention was to draw attention to his pain, because he had been carrying that pain of being neglected or feeling neglected, and not having healed from his trauma. He was molested as a child, and I don't know, sexually abused either in his father's church or wherever. That is why I was also interested in watching this vlog by Tasha K and some other person, over an hour, talking about it, trying to discuss it, and talking about church secrets, how in the church secrets are kept. That's why I call it skeletons in the family closet or in the church closet. No, 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 no. Oh, God is going to. You don't take it out there. No, no, blah, blah, blah. It has to be perfect. There's the face to save. There's the career to save. There is, oh no, you're a powerful man of God. T.D. Jake's daughter did not have to get pregnant at 13. That was, hey, abomination. But well, she's who she is today. She's a pastor. She's a first. Okay, fine. But I remember at that time, I was just getting onto YouTube, and oh my goodness, it was like the Potter house was going to break down. And I read her book. I read Sarah Jake's book and everything. So I do read a lot of all of those things. I think, let me be honest, because I had my own son out of wedlock, my first son, and I had my first son with a priest, somebody who is a priest today. I know what it means to have skeletons in the closet, especially about your parenting, right? So I was bent on not having any skeletons in my own closet. And I think that's why I even clashed with my mom, because I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to tell the child immediately. I can tell him who he is. I'm going to let him have a relationship with his father. I'm going to I'm going to tell the world about it. I'm going to put it in my book. I am not going to keep this a secret, because secrets hurt more than they help, more than they heal. I didn't even know I was going to be a therapist at that time, but probably also because of my own trauma as a child, I was skinned. Maybe that people don't get it when I don't beat my children. Like, it makes breaking news when I beat, like, once in a year. Because I don't think that's the best way to discipline. As I said in one of the points I put there, discipline and love means something else to millennials. They understand it differently. And so if you're beating a child, I don't think that child is going to get the message as much as if you have a conversation with this child. And what my son was just telling me today, he's a big boy, he's 11, big boy, 11. At his age, could I even open my mouth to say anything to my mom and stuff and say I'm 11, I'm a big girl? God forbid. And the kind of things they do today, like the son himself, he's called Carry On. He was saying that, well, he doesn't even need to go and work in a factory and slave out like his father and stuff like that. He just needs to scroll with his phone, create an Instagram account, do all kinds of things, and you're just having money. So he doesn't even need to leave his house. That's what he was saying, And some people think that he's high, he's mentally ill and stuff. That's not for me to diagnose and to pass judgment on and everything. I'm sticking closely to the parents and the skeletons and, what I feel as a parent and what I feel as a psychotherapist. I really think that we need to revisit the way we handle trauma, or we handle secrets or issues that happen in our families. A lot of families, and when I mean a lot, I'm saying a lot, like if out of 10 you say 6, that's still a lot, have secrets, skeletons in the closet, which have caused much more rifts that has brought that family together. But we don't talk about that. No, we don't. And if we want to talk about that, we will talk about it the way we want, and you have no right to try to deviate or to say, no, I'll be better off seeing a therapist. I want us to go together. I had a family come to me once where it was the girl, one woman who brought her daughter, that the child was wayward and everything and stuff, only for me to ask the child, have you ever been assaulted? She said, yes, she has been raped by her stepfather. That was the last time they came. That was the last time, the first and the last time. The mother couldn't imagine that the child could dare say that kind of a thing in her presence. I thought we had already dealt with this thing in the house as a family. Sometimes that's not enough. That's not enough. Sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes even going to your pastor is not enough. Why? Because the person who feels like they have been offended, they don't trust you anymore. They don't trust your pastor. They don't trust the family unit anymore. If there has been a rape, for example, we are in Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and then you are trying to sit together again as that same family which has covered it up. It's not more only in the movies that we watch those things. That they happen in real life. I've worked with so many people to know that these things happen. Okay, that same family which tried to cover it up, or which covered it up, or which ignored you. Oh my goodness, Tasha K herself was raped by or sexually molested by her uncle, and whom she even thought was her brother because she was brought up by her grandmother. When you listen to some of these things, you're like, hey, it happens all over the world. And the family knew, and everybody was shh, and then they were just praying and praying. And so today she's cut off, and she doesn't give a damn about that family. Look at what these secrets have done. If they had addressed that issue when it had just happened, or even subsequently, the family will still be together. And sometimes you will see the family is trying so hard to be together once you reveal it, because, well, that protecting family name, they want that unity at all costs. Yeah, family is good, but let me tell you something. If I wasn't where I was now in my life, I wouldn't be thinking family is good, because I'll be like, hey, you let me down. When I was sinking, crying for help and everything, you were. But the good thing is I have walked through it, and even if we have not had the kind of conversations that some people might want to have with their families, I am at peace because I know everybody is doing their best, and I have spoken. I'm an adult, and we have come to embrace it, and we are like, okay, that's Mark, that is how she deals with stuff, and as long as she's healed, then that's fine. Okay, we move on as a family. But if you are now trying to reach out for help, like I think that's what the young man is doing, carry on. I listened to him from his own word of mouth. He's like, he spoke to one guy because the guy didn't try to take the side of his father or his side, because that's not what he wants. The guy said you were both wrong, and he was like, this is the guy, we were both wrong. So it's not something of who wins. And that's what I was telling somebody the other day. Like, there's nothing wrong in you saying I'm sorry to your child. There's nothing wrong. I say I'm sorry to my children, and they also say they're sorry to me. What is wrong? All that parental something, because the Bible said in whether it's commandment number 3, honor your father and mother so you will live long. And well, some children do that and then they still die young. So come on now. And what does honor mean? What does honor mean? To what point would you keep honoring? Look, Donnie McClurkin, I went and watched another video. That guy was raped 3 times at the age of 8 in one night. He was abused by his parents. He was beaten up. He was insulted and all of that. When you tell a child, for example, you amount to no piece of shit. That's not what was told to me, but that's what some children dare say. You amount to no piece of shit. I heard that audio. Don't ever call me again. If I lay my hands on you, I'm going to kill you. Those things hurt. I still remember things that were said to me as a child. Sometimes you think you are angry, and then you open your mouth and say things to a child, you don't know that child, because the brain is still developing. So the child would capture those things, and those things will stay there in that brain. And so even if that child is now 32 years, they are stuck at 8 years, they are stuck at 13, they are stuck at some age. For that thing for you to clear it, some people what's her name? Kasha or Tesha, whatever. She has been in therapy for over 12 years. And so we will think that 1 session, 2 sessions, 3 sessions will clear for some. No. Or that somebody will just pray and lay hands on somebody and the issue will be gone. No. So somehow this child hasn't spoken with his both parents for 5 years. Hi, darling. For 5 years. He said the last time he spoke with his father was last month when he recorded that segment of the audio, and the child did it. I can put myself in his shoes, like that's the first time you are calling your father in 5 years. And even if the child starts going off, as a parent, I'll be very honest. It's true that you cannot dictate the way you behave in each situation. But if I haven't spoken to any of my children for 5 years, God forbid, and they call me, I will just listen to them and just tell them I love them and just thank them for calling me and stuff like that, and ask them when they are coming home. Because I just want to see you. We can talk. We can sit down and talk. There's no reason pushing anybody's buttons over a phone call. No. And as I was, I share things with, my relationship with my sons and everything. I don't share it to brag. I share it to inspire people, to motivate people, to encourage people. I wasn't brought up that way. So it's not like I learned it from my childhood. The only thing that saved me or that stuck in my head in my childhood is that when my father came back from a long trip, we all sat on the table and ate. And I think that is where sitting on the table, the love for sitting on the table, I got that love, because it was just so precious to me. I would sit on the table because, well, back then many of my friends didn't sit on the table. In the hood where I grew up, they didn't sit on the table with their parents, so it was like, you people's house. But no, it didn't happen all the time too in my own. But when it happened, I was kind of like the golden child, so I had the opportunity to talk non-stop. I'm still a talker, and scratch my head and talk and talk and talk and get my father pay some attention and answer somehow. So it stuck with me. So even when I grew up and there was all the trauma and their divorce and everything, and the maltreatment from my stepmom and all kinds of things, those were the things that I kept inside me. So it's very important to start with your children very young. Start having a relationship with them very young. Sometimes we think it's just a matter of providing presents upon presents, picnics and outings and all of those things. But where is the relationship? Perfection is not the goal here. Nobody can be perfect. I am not. Not too long ago, I banged the door on my son. I was so angry. I entered into my room and he was coming to maybe explain something. I just, bam, locked the thing, bolted it, gave myself some time out. That's my own way. Instead of giving him a good slap, let me better lock myself up in my room. So no, we are not perfect. I just don't use those words because I've heard them, and I don't think that they help. And now I know better because I'm a mental health advocate professional and everything, and I know the power of some kind of words on a child, even an adult. I just read a post a friend put there today saying we should stop yelling at children, because even we adults, we don't learn from yelling. We don't want anybody to yell at us, so why are we yelling at those children? And my first son was reminding me yesterday, Mommy, the thing is, sometimes when you yell like that, I don't really get it, and it also stresses me and it works me up. And I was like, I was really going through some stuff the week before and everything, so I think I was worked up, but I'm sorry, and today I really made an effort. I'm making efforts. So it is something like when we keep the communication lines open, when we communicate with our children, they don't have to be 33 or 32 and then leak an audio on YouTube before we start doing damage control. And that's why the boy was saying he's not interested in all of that, all that quotes in Bible and everything. I just watched the last one interview his mom gave, and the way she was clinging to the Bible and listing what the son has done. Oh, he has disrespected, he has rebelled, he has this, he has that, he has that, he has that. Is that the child you want to come back to you? He's not spoken to you in 5 years. She even sent him a text message when the audio was leaked, and the guy did not even reply. Of course, he's 32. Come and do what you want. He's in LA. He's living in his car. He's doing whatever. He has a baby. But he's living his life. And as he says there, he's done. He's checked out. And they ask him, when are you going back to Texas? Because his family is in Texas. Look at what he said. Jesus did not go back to Nazareth. Oh, my goodness. I mean, even if I'm the mom of such a child, I'll feel bad, but I'm going to be like, as long as he's alive, what am I going to do? So what we can do is try our best to kind of build that kind of relationship that, it will not get to that point. It can happen, but I mean, we are just hoping. But what I know, because I've also been a child, is that what happens to us as children, or what happened to me, affected my adulthood a lot, and my relationship too with my parents, to be very honest, and also influenced the way I parent my children. And it can do it in a good way, it can do it in a bad way. The other day, somebody I follow, or who follows me on Facebook, they wrote some long post on parenting and marriages, how they're crumbling, and feminism. I didn't read all of it, but something just caught my attention. They said children from broke home grow up with a lot of dysfunction or psychological something. And this is somebody I really thought was writing some kind of things, or based on their comments on my post. And I thought it was a young man growing up to be, an influencer or something. And I just replied there, and I told this young man, I just got this, and I could just pass and go back. because I kind of like respect you, I just want you to know that I don't agree with your statement that children from broken homes or from single parent homes grow up with a lot of psychological dysfunction. That's the word he used. But I didn't give him an opportunity to even argue it with me. I just unfollowed him, and that was the end of it. And I'm like, I mean, that's okay. I don't agree with that, but that doesn't matter. I know that psychological dysfunction is not necessarily a result of whether you were brought up by a single parent or not. I don't think that Barack Obama had any psychological dysfunction, and I don't think that he's a troubled parent because of his own childhood. And I know Barack Obama wasn't raised by his mom. His mom took him with her to Malaysia for a few years and sent him back to Hawaii to his grandparents to go to school and everything. So basically, he was brought up by his grandparents, just like Tasha K was brought up by her grandparents, just like Kirk Franklin was brought up by his 64-year-old grandmother for a while his parents were still teenage parents struggling, and they were really. So a lot of people were brought up in some kind of dysfunction and stuff, even in homes where you have both parents. How often do some children see those parents 24/7? The parents are hustling out there. Some parents actually bring their parents over to come and bring up the children while they go out there hustling to pay bills and all of that. So you're not going to say that because a child was not brought up in a home where they're both parents or was brought up by the grandparents and stuff. There is no formula. I just think as a parent and as a psychotherapist that if we have that relationship, the earlier the better. That would enable the child to come to us when they have any issues. Or that would also enable us to convoke a conversation or start a conversation with the child when we also have an issue. Then, even when they grow up, even when there is a rift, they will come back. That same Bible says, bring up a child in the way they should go, and when they grow, they will not depart from it. Even if they shift, like Kirk Franklin himself, he released an album a year or 2 or 5 years ago. I don't see those dates. But the title of the album is Losing My Religion. What does losing my religion mean? It means that he has gotten to a stage in his life where he has come to realize it's not about the religion. But before, he was so much into the religion and into his whatever that his church was called, and the wife also gave a shout out, the baby's mama gave a shout out to her own church, and so it was all about church and religion and everything. But he has probably come to realize, well, it's much more than religion. Another young gospel artist or renowned one, he too wrote a book, Restored, Losing My Religion, Gaining My Spirituality or My Faith or something like that. So a lot of things go on in people's lives, both children and adults. We as adults cannot, just because we think we are adults, negate children's experiences. Actually, somebody said a child actually teaches you how to parent them. The child already comes with their own personality. We just enhance, we just give them the opportunity to bloom, to grow, to be themselves and stuff like that, and well, to be creative. But we shut all of it down, and then later on in life it's still going to come up. But a child doesn't come like somebody said you give birth to a child, you don't give birth to their heart. It's not you. You're not the one. No. You can help them or you can hurt them, but you are not making them. You are not the one who gives them bread, and stuff like that. So let's stop thinking that, what did they used to say? Sit down there. A child should be seen and not heard. Gone are those days. And let's give our children that opportunity to come to us to tell us, Mommy, I've been raped. Daddy, he assaulted me in church. Mommy, the teacher did this. Mama, the neighbor did this. Papa did this. Instead of making them afraid to come and tell us. And then when they come and tell you, what do you do with that? What do you do? Tell the child to shut up. Nobody should hear about this and all of those. And then when it turns out now to show up in the child's adulthood and messes up their relationships, and maybe for them to cope, they turn to drugs or to drinking and stuff like that. The very you wants to bash that child, that the child is a rebel, the child is disrespectful, the child is such a disgrace. Who brought up that child? I honestly, as a parent, I'm 42, so I'm not a child. There is not a day I am going to bash my son's and say badly brought up by who? I really respect my mom today because she used to tell me, and I used to rebel, that motherhood is a vocation. And she said she is not leaving me. I once told her, leave me alone. She said she's not leaving me alone. And I now know. So yes, his mother might say, oh, whether he's 32 or he's 40 or he's 50, he is still mine. Oh, well, children are not really ours, eh? They are just, we say our child like that, but the truth is that, I beg you, it's a human being, eh? Their own personality and everything. You know, like, please, respect them. Well, and Angel, me, I don't even want to go into that discussion of whether from single parent home, from double parent home. Anyway, I'm a single parent, so you can even understand that I'll be biased, right? But I beg, I have seen a lot to know that crap happens in every home. There's no guarantee that a child from a single parent home is going to turn out from a child from a dual parent home, or that a child from a dual parent home is going to turn out better than a child from a single parent home. I mean, as long as there's good parenting, there's good parenting. Be it by the grandparents, be it by the other partner's new partner, all of that. Frankly speaking, I don't even want to go into that argument because I'm already a single parent, so I can't even go there. And I don't see why I should bash dual parent homes. I don't also understand why dual parent people will want to bash single parent. All these categorizations and trying to shoot arrows left and right don't help. Let's look at how we can find solutions, or we can do things better than what we got, because that is the whole idea of procreation, of evolution. We evolve. Why procreate if you're not going to want to do better by, what you are bringing forth? That's what I think. So I watch this with a lot of attention, both for my personal development and for my professional development as a psychotherapist. And then, well, I just thought to share because that's also part of it, right? That's my purpose in life, to inspire, motivate, encourage people from all walks of life, just add value, contribute my own token. And I do it here because, there are many Cameroonians on Facebook, and I'm not going to force people to subscribe to my YouTube channel and all of those things and stuff like that. That's not my stage in life. That's not my interest. That's not my priority. But people should do what they want. After all is said and done, nobody can tell you how to best parent your child, because nobody knows your child better than yourself. I mean, you don't even know that child 100%. You just discover the child keeps unfolding. But I can't. I can only accompany a parent so much, but it's left to them. Just like I can also only accompany a child so much, but it is still left to them. So I really wish them the best. When you are a high-profile person, such a thing happens, and it's all on social media, it becomes more tricky to handle it. And people will want to rather go and handle things privately. But if it didn't come out on social media, some of us wouldn't learn. And as the woman herself says, the mother of the child says, in the end, she's happy that it did come out, because, well, it helps her heal. It will help the man heal. It will help his siblings heal. It will probably help him to heal, because he's also happy for the attention his pain is getting. We cannot negate his pain. This man is 32 going on to 33. So as much as people want to say he's an adult, he's still stuck somewhere. So he wants some much healing, and he doesn't want it from TD Jakes. He wants it from a therapist. And although his parents says, we've offered him a lot, did they go with him? Did they do it as a family? Did they force him to go to who they choose? And did they pay for him? I don't know those intricacies. So we just learn from these experiences, and we hope that we do better by our own children. And we keep close to our zen in these matters, the matters of the heart, the matters of the soul, the matters of the spirit. It's very, very, very important. And maybe as a last word, Let's try to parent our children, not with presents, but with our presence. God bless us all.